Hey guys, here's Jules from PitCam with an awesome Behind the Ink. You see it in my face, right? I'm super nervous because I have one of the biggest legends of my life, right? When it comes to music. Here is Village Valo from him.
Hello, NVV. I'm nervous too. I'm always, if you don't have the butterflies, I think that it means that something's wrong. You got to be nervous. You got to be on your toes a bit in life in general, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, otherwise there's no fun, right? I mean, to be excited, right, is most important.
Yeah, otherwise you'd be like a, like a zombie in a Netflix series,
Yeah. What's your favorite Netflix series?
All the ones with zombies. I don't know if they have any of the zombie ones. To be honest with you, I can't remember.
Okay. Now, I mean, you see, I started cutting my hair to make me a bit pretty here for you for the interview. I started halfway, right? I stopped halfway, right? So I thought, okay, I leave it like this, right?
You're moving from the 80s to the 90s.
Yeah.
There has a bit of sort of like living color, extreme sort of 89, 92 vibe. So you're doing well, especially with the Yamaha jacket,
Thank you so much. So please don't judge me for looking at my phone from time to time. So I will dive into now with a cool tattoo questions. Right, let's start. When did you start to get tattoos, and what was your first one?
I think the first one was that heart on the wrist. Why, I can't remember. I met a tattoo artist in Helsinki at a bar. How it usually happens, like that was quite exotic still at that time. It was 96 maybe, and not a lot of, there was no, like, nobody was having sleeves and nobody was having any tattoos here or anything, so it was quite still sort of scary and weird and cool. And I remember he's the same guy who did the whole sleeve for me on the arm, and so we got a bit crazy. We started easy and then went full blown on this one.
Is he still doing?
I haven't seen him in many years. I think that he used to do music as well. He used to be a guitar player and do photography. So I think that he moved on to photography a bit more. So I haven't seen him. Maybe I should bring him up. But yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we did a Behind the Ink before, not with me, obviously, but it was 12 years ago.
You got a Klaus Kinski tattoo ready to show it?
Yeah, if you insist.
Yeah.
It's Klaus Kinski.
Klaus Kinski.
There we go. Klaus Kinski sucking on his thumb on a naked chick. He's one of my all-time heroes.
You have since then some new tattoos, some favorite tattoo you want to share?
To be honest with you, I can't remember if because I am usually what I like when it comes to tattoos is that the artist, that there's something like that there's a relationship and it makes it more special as opposed to just going into a tattoo store or like doing a walk-in or whatever. So it's been a while. The last one was actually a walk-in, and it was in Philadelphia, but I'm not sure if that was less than 12 years ago. It was where did this thing, that thing?
Nice.
That was done in Philly.
Ah, this one is perfect. This one was the one you showed us last time.
Oh,
no,
right,
it's the other one.
Yeah, okay. So that was that. And that's Kinski. I remember there was a lot of talk about Klaus Kinski because his daughter told about the sort of like not so nice things that the father supposedly did, and I remember a lot of people, especially here in Germany, a lot of journalists said that why don't you remove the tattoo, and you should remove it, and it's like removing a Jesus Christ tattoo, It's like, what I'm not comparing him to Jesus Christ, but meaning that there's a lot of good things, a lot of bad things, and a lot of times, as you know, tattoos are symbols of not only that thing, they symbolize the time in your life, they symbolize what you like at that moment. They're little pieces of a diary written on skin. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, it's also like represents the time in when you did it.
Headspace and all that.
Exactly. Yes. And do you have like from something from your childhood or teenage time, some special tattoo?
No, because the first one was in '96. I was 20.
Oh, I mean, maybe you dedicated it to your childhood.
God. Oh, right. I think all of them. So, to be honest with you, I can't remember. It's like I can't remember. I have so many. No, you go ahead. Let's get back to
okay. No, I mean, I think I have another question. Maybe I heard that you actually dedicated your new album neon noir to your girlfriend.
Of course.
So, do you have a tattoo dedicated to her as well?
Not yet. No.
You plan?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Why not? It's
What would it be?
her last name is Karhu, which means a bear in Finnish. So maybe it'd be a bear tattoo.
That's nice. That's nice.
Like those huggy bears. What do they call them? The Care
gummy
Bears.
bears?
No, not gummy bears. No, not gummy bears. But is it Care Bears? Remember those like terrible pink, horrible thingies from the like early '90s, I guess. Yeah. But I've got a couple of ideas, but for new tattoos. But I've been talking with a couple of artists as well. But it remains to be seen. It's always a bit of you have to. I think it also changed because I'm not drinking, so it's not so easy to sort of like get me out there and into the chair.
Okay.
You know.
But another question for your album and tattoo on the same at the same time. When you think of your album, is there something particular, like a line from your lyrics or an image or something you would like to get on your body?
Not mine. I do like Black Sabbath lyric or whatever. So it's I'm not. You have to be self-centered and a bit of an egomaniac to do this, but no, I definitely not do. I have the hardware, the symbol of the band. I do have that, and maybe I should get the new one, the one with the two V's, the new version. But no lyrics, no man. And that's always cool when people find their own bit, because lyrics are beautiful in that way. That it depends on. It's again about the headspace where people are in their lives at that moment, and when they find a lyric that speaks to them, that's the cool thing. You know, I don't have to understand what it means to them. It's all theirs. Yeah.
Okay, I get it. And but honestly, I don't want to be selfish and don't want to act like I don't want to ask alone all the questions. So we asked some mates if they have a question. So actually, we prepared from an awesome band, a vocalist wanted to ask you a question.
Hey Ville, this is Florian from the Berlin rock band Dino Sound, and it's a pleasure to ask you a question. How does it feel to be back after the pandemic and all the shit that is going on in the world and play sold-out shows like tonight in Berlin? How does it feel? Did you expect this response, or is it very special for you to be back with sold-out shows? Thank you in advance.
Thank you for the question. I have to check out his band as well. It feels like somebody has been continuously spiking my water with LSD. Meaning that it feels very unreal and it feels very psychedelic, because of course you can't take it for granted that people would remember your name after all these years, and for a short bit for everybody in the music industry especially, you know, during COVID it felt that it's all over. So I feel blessed, and this is crazy that people still do remember the thing, and the gig's been going really well, and a lot of these shows are sold out, and of course it's great, it's fascinating, but it's not something I could have expected. Of course I was hoping for stuff to be good, but there was this way exceeded all my expectations.
But talking about expectations, I can only imagine that a lot of people when they hear, okay, he's back with the solo project, with an album, right? That there are a lot of expectations towards this album, towards these songs. How do you deal with it? Like, do you like don't care and say like, it's my music and I do what I want, and you can go to a cafe and talk shit about yourself or something, or I don't know.
Attitude. Yeah, I do exactly like that. Yeah. No, it's I'm not saying that the sort of like recipe for the success of him has been the fact that that we've always been very a closed bunch in a way, that we've had our own world and we do it for ourselves, for the love of Black Sabbath and for the love of Type O Negative and all those bands. But much of it is like that. It's very self-centered, and we're fans of music. So and now I'm talking about like I was still in him, we and this and that. But it's like that for me too. Yeah. You know, I've been writing stuff. It's like, how can I tell what people like? So it's a worthless thing to think about. If you think in terms of a pop hit. If you're thinking what's on the charts now, as you know, it was recorded months and months ago and written maybe even years ago. So there's no reason to try to follow. That'd be terrible because you're always late.
Yeah.
The best thing to do is to follow your gut.
Yeah.
That's the best chart to follow. You know, depending on your gut, obviously. You know, I'm not talking about the people with medical conditions, but follow your instinct and try to do things differently. I think that's the only thing that makes sense in the world, and that's how I've always functioned. So there's no, because I have to live with the music as well. I had to live with it for a long time, and I think it has to start from that there are things inside you that you don't know how to put into words, and you put them into melodies, and through that it is a cathartic process, and not necessarily a healing one, but it's quite interesting because music is what I do. As simple as it is, you know, I've done it for such a long time. I've never thought about it. I've never had a plan B. Music is very important to me. It's the companion that has been there ever since the beginning, and my crutch, and my safety blanket, and my safe zone, and it is my thing. So it's hard to take music out from me, and There's no that's a record company thing to deal about. You know,
to deal about the expectations and so on from outside.
Because of course everybody wants to succeed, and we don't want you don't want your album to sound like poop. You know, you're hoping that it will resonate. But then again, like with Neon Noir, for example, I was very convinced that it shouldn't sound like a modern, uber edited, like very sanitized. Especially metal. A lot of the stuff is very, it doesn't breathe. It doesn't have dynamics. It has a sound, and I like some of the sound, but it doesn't work with my aesthetic at all. I want music to be a bit left of the center, a bit messed up, and sound a bit quirky, and it has to have mistakes, beautiful little squeaks and squeals and stuff out of time, and all that is very important.
Yeah, thank you so much for your openness. I think this is something like musicians need to deal, right? Always need to deal with it in a sense, right?
Well, but the point about that is the cool thing about music is also that a lot of bands do music, and a lot of musicians start doing music for different reasons. If you think of those things in terms of the classic '80s Motley Crue type of thing, that we started because we wanted to get the chicks. It's a very different flow from what I do, because I can't imagine breathing, or I feel I'd be drowning without music. It doesn't mean that my way is better. It's just different, and my perspective is very different. So what I mean by that is that the rules don't apply to everybody. And even though you might be in it for money, for example, let's say Kiss, Gene Simmons, and all those businessmen. It doesn't mean that they never wrote great songs. They have fantastic songs, but they came from slightly a different sort of different goal set, so to speak.
So I think there's thank you so much. There's one question actually I wanted to ask you. We talked about attitude and so on and mindset, and there was one question for me, because in April we are organizing a charity event for people with with mental issues and so on. And my question is, what drives you, in the sense, like, what motivates you? How can you, when you have a really bad day, how can you turn this day into a good day, or at least into a less bad day? Is there something you can give an advice?
The simple one I try to keep on reminding myself is to remember that it's always better to be on the move than to stay still, because you're a harder target when you're on the move. For depression, for example, it's so easy to just be wallowed in that sort of like in that black hole of the black dog, what they call it, howling. So it's a tough one though, and we all feel it in different ways. But I think the important thing is that we're all broken in our own particular ways, and that's what makes us beautiful. So we should celebrate the fucked upness of life in general, and just deal with it one way or the other. It's because it's not easy for anybody. It doesn't matter how much money, how little money, how good, how bad you look, are you from a whatever country, whatever. We all deal with all sorts of problems. And that's what it is to be a human, I guess.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. What a lovely ending. Thank you so much. Thank you so much again. No, it was awesome. Thank you guys. So keep watching PitCam, keep watching Behind the Ink.